Now, you had a slight run-in with the Prime Minister last week when you criticised him for quoting you in terms of the uselessness of international comparisons. So let's hear your actual view.
OK, my view. I wrote an article for The Guardian because I'd got so fed up with this sort of, I think, rather media-based competition about who's top. Is it Britain or Italy? That's the worst. And I just wanted to say that because of the enormously different ways that different countries were reporting their data, that it's a completely fatuous exercise to do a sort of Eurovision between who's the worst in Europe. But I should have made much clearer that what I was talking about was the comparisons between essentially the bad countries in Europe, UK, Belgium, France, Spain, Italy. I was not saying, that we can't make any comparisons at all, because clearly it's important to note that we, as that group, is way above, in terms of their mortality, above a group like Germany, Austria, Portugal, Denmark, Norway, who have low fatality rates. If only to say that what's happened in this country is not inevitable. It doesn't mean it had to happen. And I wasn't very clear about that. And then I found that my paper was being quoted by ministers to support the claim that we can't make any international comparisons. And I thought it'll go away. But finally, Boris Johnson said that I used this in a response in parliamentary questions. And I felt forced, and my colleagues encouraged me to actually go public and say, please don't do this. This is not what I meant. Don't use this to make this claim that we can't make comparisons. And I tweeted that out. And it's my one and possibly only viral tweet with over 10,000 retweets.
So you said it wasn't inevitable that we had that number of deaths. And that then leads to, are we talking about policy, or are we talking about the clustering of people in London and other issues?
There are so many reasons why countries can differ. And that, let alone the policy, the age distribution. I didn't realise in Ireland, 6% of the population is over 75. In Italy, double that, 12% of the population are over 75. And this is a disease of the over 75s almost completely. So I think that, these are all many comparisons. We're a densely populated country, all sorts of things. But there's still, and so making these fine comparisons is extremely difficult indeed. However, when you see really massive differences between countries, then it is really worth trying to investigate why. But I'm not saying why.